I'm your host, Mandy Ryle, and for your practice today, we're going to be working with the back. And I'd like to work in a very holistic way because most of us think of our back as a collection of tissues. We think of it in terms of its position and maybe potentially in terms of its function. So it's north of the hips, it's behind the core, there's a spine, there's some relationship to the shoulder. But we don't really think much more about the back until something starts to go wrong, which, by the way, is pretty likely in your lifetime. There's a fairly high probability that you will at some time experience some sort of nonspecific low back pain. For the vast majority of us, this pain is transient. It's a short period of time, and then we move on. But for a significant number of people, that back pain continues for months, sometimes even years. The fact is, the back is actually an incredibly complicated structure, anatomically, but even more so when you consider other parts of the experience of the back, like the vascular system, like the nervous systems. But we humans are not just walking, talking tissues and systems, are we? We are embodied selves, and our embodied selves have thoughts and feelings and beliefs, memories and predictions about our tissues. And believe it or not, those parts of our experience are every bit as important as the tissues themselves. In some ways, those parts of the experience might be more important. So this practice is all about getting to know your extraordinary, amazing, multi-dimensional back from every perspective, thoughts, beliefs, feelings, tissues, spine, function. This practice feels pretty amazing, and we're going to make use of a Feldenkrais lesson, which I happen to really love, and I use a lot with my clients who have chronic low back pain. On that note, if you are someone who suffers from chronic pain, I would really encourage you to check out my free mini course, Introduction to Pain Care Yoga. All of the work I do is evidence informed. I am a huge consumer of research around chronic pain, and so the practices that I offer to my students make use of that research and also my experience in working with people over these past years who suffer from chronic pain. This course is designed to help you to see how these practices can fit into your life and help you overcome chronic pain. Just click the link in the show notes if you'd like to enroll in the free Introduction to Pain Care Yoga course. For your practice, you're going to need a couple of blankets. You'll need maybe a couple of blocks and maybe a bolster. So if you don't have blocks and bolster, those are totally optional. I didn't end up using them when I did this practice. And to begin your practice, you're actually going to be laying on your back with your head resting on one of those blankets and with the other blanket just laying beside you. I really hope you enjoy your practice, yogi. Okay, so on your back, head is resting on your blanket. Another blanket is beside you. And for now, legs long or feet flat, it's your choice. Arms just resting in a comfortable position. And if for any reason you prefer to have a different posture entirely here, you're welcome to take it. I'm not married to anything in particular. So I'd like for you to just find a position where you can be easeful in this moment. And then start to roam the body with your attention. And as your attention travels from body part to body part, give it a sense of benevolence. Your attention sort of like a gentle watcher, which observes without interfering. And as you roam around, you may notice that there are some parts of you that you have a feeling about. This is not a neutral place. You have memories or beliefs, and yet you're still observing with that benevolence, without interference. And just gently begin to tilt your head side to side. So gently. Not to accomplish anything, not for a stretch, not for more range of motion, not to prove to yourself that you can or can't today. So this head turning is just about the experience of turning the head right now. And be gentle with yourself. You may notice that it's a little easier to go in one direction. You're welcome to bias the movement toward that direction. It doesn't have to be equal, right and left. And then the next time your head is resting in the center, just take a moment and notice the right side of your body, just dividing down from the crown of your head to your right foot. And then do the same thing with the left side of your body, from the crown of your head, down your face, your neck, your shoulder. And you may notice that the two sides feel a little bit different, or maybe as you observe them, you recognize that the observation is not the same somehow, and that's okay, that's normal. Now, I'd like for you to please turn over onto your left side. And as you come over onto your left side, I'm going to have you adjust that blanket so it is the right thickness, so that your head isn't dipping down, but it's not lifted higher than it should be, but it's just in the right position. So you don't feel crimped in your shoulder, but you're not disrupting the spinal rhythm at all. And then draw your knees up a little bit so that they're pointed toward the left side of the room. And reach your left arm straight out in front of you with the palm faced up. Yeah, straight out in front of you with the palm face up. And if you need something between your knees, by the way, to rest comfortably on your side, you're welcome to take that extra blanket between your knees. And then please place your right hand in your left palm. So your right hand is not exactly closed, but it's more closed than open as it rests in your left palm. So it would be like the gentlest fist. Right hand resting in left palm. Yeah. And then begin to open up the body, almost like you're opening a door, allowing the right arm to rise up toward the ceiling, and the chest open, and the face follows the right hand. And then bring the right hand back into the left palm, all the way down back into that left palm. And this time I'd like for you to make your wrist and fingers so loose, so they're just hanging. So it's not a straight wrist, it's a relaxed wrist. Let's try it again. So you'll open yourself up like a big door, and your face follows your hand in lockstep, almost as if there's a string tethering your nose to your thumb. And then your hand comes back down and rests. Take a full and complete rest. So for now, we're only going to open the right arm so that it's up toward the ceiling. It won't go any further. It's just going to come up toward the ceiling. So you're making like a 90-degree angle, basically. Wrist is so relaxed, and then we come back down. And if you're finding that it's hard for you to turn your head with your hand, you may need to adjust the position of your head or perhaps the thickness of your blanket, because the head should turn organically with the hand, almost as if it's no effort at all. And each time your right hand meets your left hand, you take a full and complete rest before you begin again. Let's just take 2 more of these. Notice your side bodies for this last one. Notice your right side body, notice your left side body. And then rest here on your side. Just rest on your side for a moment. Just a full rest. Nothing to do. Nowhere to be. Now feel your left side body on the floor. Feel its contour, some parts pressing into the floor, some parts moving away from the floor. Feel how your breath changes the relationship of the left side body to the floor. And then let's do the exact same thing you did before, just a couple of times, noticing this time the left side body. So that right arm, rise up, the wrist is so relaxed, just hanging, hanging. Face follows the arm the whole time. And if you can, I prefer to have the eyes open looking at the thumb. Notice what's happening with your left side. What is the relationship between the left side and this opening up of the door of the body? Let's just one more. And this time, plant your right palm on the bare floor so you can push down into it and lift yourself up, almost up to a seated position, but you're not going to face forward. You're going to continue to face the left side of your mat. And bring your right knee just to rest sort of on top of your left knee. The legs can be staggered a little bit. And come up to the left palm. Up to that left palm. And then bring your left hand toward the back of your mat, but make sure you're on your sticky mat. Yeah, and the left hand is straight back from the shoulder. The shoulder rides up towards your left ear. So yeah, you're going to let your shoulder press up. And pretend someone's pouring wet sand into your left side rib cage, and it's so heavy toward the floor. Your right arm can just rest on your right side. Some people like to half bind the right arm, so it's kind of hanging down behind your back. Your face is going to turn back to the back of the mat, and then you're going to drop your chin into your armpit like you're a bird, tucking your head under your wing. So hopefully you facilitated a little bit of an experience of your left side body here. And this kind of flies in the face of all of the things that we know about yoga, which is like good posture and integrated. I would like for you to be as relaxed as possible, to literally hang into the connective tissues of your joints. Let that left side body just drop as much as you can, as heavy as you can. And for these last few breaths here in your lounging lizard, more like this, let this drop into my hand. Yes. Really explore that left side body with your breath. Explore with your breath. Just one more breath. And draw up on that left side body against the force of that imaginary sand in your rib cage. Draw up to a long spine once again. Yes. And then you're actually going to bring your hands to the left and then come to a seated position, face forward. Face forward. Yeah? Good. And then roll over onto your right side and set up like you were before on your left. So you're going to just do the same thing that you did before, but this time you're going to be on your right. So support your head just the right amount. It's probably going to be different. Yeah, it might not be as high, might be higher. Your knees are drawn up, pointed toward the right side of the room. Please feel free to place something between the knees if necessary. Right arm is reaching out in front of you. Left hand rests in the right palm, like a bird returning to its nest. And when you're ready, you're open like a door. Your eyes follow your left hand as you reach the arm toward the ceiling. And notice how you could just use the arm, right? This could be about the shoulder for you. That's one option. Or you could make this more of a holistic experience, allowing the torso to open as the face and the arm open, right? So it's actually could be about the shoulder, or it could be about a spinal rotation. And keep that left wrist as soft as you can, so it just hangs down. It's a hangy wrist. Yeah. And your eyes follow the hand in lockstep. And one reason for the eyes following the hand, there are many by the way, is that if they don't, this is going to be about your shoulder. We're not really going to get the rotation that I'm looking for. So let's really try, if you can, to keep the eyes open, to follow the hand the whole time. And if you find that you open up a little bit wider when you use this technique, it's okay. I don't want to stop you from opening a little wider, but I don't want you to think about range of motion. That's not what we're doing. Next time your left hand meets your right hand, you're going to take a rest. Going to take a rest. And then we'll begin again. The same thing. Heart, chin, eyes, follow that left hand as you open the door of the body. Feel your spine rotate. Yes. Feel your spine rotate. And I know that for some people, that rotation is a problematic movement. And for you, it may feel better to make this all about the shoulder. But I would encourage you to try a number of strategies. See what might be possible for you. Let's do a couple more, please. Yeah. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Here's the last one. Wonderful. And then the left hand resting in the right hand. Beautiful. Plant that left palm and help yourself up so that your Side sitting, facing the right long edge. Your knees are sort of staggered but pointed to the right. You're up on that right palm now, and then the right hand is straight back from the shoulder, kind of in the center of the mat, depending on where your hip is. Let the right shoulder right up toward the ear, and your right ribs heavy, hanging. Everything is just hanging. And the left arm could rest on your side or a nice easy half bind with the arm behind your back. Try to keep your heart facing the left side of the room rather than down toward the floor, please. Turn your face to the right and then drop your chin. So your heart might be tempted to drop, right? But that wouldn't get the side bend that I'm looking for, unfortunately. Let me have this handprint here. Good. This drop. I'm going to have you open. That's it. And then the chin. Yeah. So it's a little bit more about the side now, right? And use your breath to explore that right side body. And this is kind of a confusing pose. So if you're in it and you're like, is this okay? I mean, if you're feeling your right side body, it's absolutely okay. But if you would like for me to come over and give my opinion and reassure you, I'm happy to do so. Just let me know if you need me. Using that breath, that benevolent attention. Attention which does not interfere. Let's take one more breath, please, in lounging lizard. And then draw those right ribs back up toward the ceiling to come to a nice long integrated spine. And then come on down to that right elbow and roll back onto your back. So you're going to be on your back with legs longer, feet flat. Take a rest. Your blanket might be too thick. You won't be on your back for a really long time. So if you want to adjust your blanket, you can. If you want to leave it so your head is probably a little higher, that's okay with me. Notice any differences you might be feeling between the right side and the left side. Come back to those places where you have a little baggage, right? Where you identify that you have some feelings, beliefs, predictions. Come back to those places and again attempt to observe without interfering. And though it's really hard, maybe you'll try to observe the feelings or beliefs just as you're observing the tissues. Please roll onto your left side. Set up as you did before. Set up as you did before. Make sure your head is just the right height away from the floor so your shoulder isn't squashed. Knees are bent. Okay, I'm going to switch it up a little bit this time though, okay? So previously your knee caps were pointed to the left. I'm going to have you keep your knees bent. So it's about 90 degrees for everyone, maybe a little more, a little less. But you're actually going to extend your hips. So you're going to bring your kneecaps to point to the front of the room now, and your feet back behind you. So you'll just slide those bent legs back. So your knees are pointed to the front of the room, yeah? And for some, the knees point perfectly to the front. For some, we have still a little pike in the hips. It's totally fine. It's absolutely fine. But this does add a level of difficulty. So see how you feel now. Bring that left arm out in front of you, palm face up. Let the little bird land in its nest. Eyes, chest, chin, follow that right hand as the right arm rises up to vertical or maybe slightly verticaler. And then your right arm, you follow back into the left hand, right hand into left hand. Yeah, eyes are following, yes. This is such an interesting movement because as long as we have agreed to make it rotation of the spine versus just movement of the shoulder, we're rotating. We're definitely rotating, but now we're rotating an extension, which for many is kind of scary. If you've had a little back sensitivity, this can feel a little scary. So maybe you'll observe with that benevolent attention all of the swirling feelings and ideas, perceptions. Let's do a few more of these. That arm rising up, following, rotating to open. It's almost if the shoulder isn't doing anything at all except for just lightly stiffening to maintain its position, right? Yeah, that's right. It's a rotation. So you feel your chest rotating up. Yeah, good. Let's just do a couple more of these. Yeah. And the next time your left hand is resting on your right hand, you're going to stay for a moment. Just notice how you feel. So that second blanket may be necessary. It would need to be in front of you to use it. In front of you right now. Because I'd like for you to plant again that right palm on the bare floor. Plant your palm on the floor, yes. So that you've got a little bit of breaks. Because your right knee is going to slide out onto the blanket which is in front of you or onto the bare floor. So right knee slides out to the right. The left arm will remain trapped under you as you roll onto your belly, and then that blanket which was under your cheek was now be under your forehead. For a modified half frog with your left arm trapped under you. And then extend that left leg long toward the front of the mat. Yep. And try to roll as much to your belly as you can and bring your right knee as far away from you as you can. And that's why the blanket is kind of nice because the inner knee is really sensitive, I think. It's really sensitive. And if for any reason having your left arm trapped under you isn't so good, well, you have my permission to just bring the arm into a more traditional half frog position. Yeah. And then for those of you who have a little more range of motion, you may like to bring your left leg wider, so more to the left, and even turn the toes outward and let the heel drop inward. And the more you have slid that right thigh, that right knee away, the more you're going to be able, to find that wide position. And just stay put. No, stay put. Stay put. Left arm under you, so you're having pretty significant experience of your left shoulder, right? With that left arm stretched out under you, you feel a very deep protraction of your left shoulder, right? it's probably maximally protracted. So spend some time with that benevolent attention, breathing into this region, the left shoulder blade, the upper back, the side body. Shoulder protraction gets a bad rap in our culture, right? We're always supposed to pinch your shoulder blades together, pull your shoulders back, poke your chest out, right? But your body is beautifully capable of both protraction and retraction. So let's be good at both. One more breath, please, and your modified half frog with that left arm trapped underneath you. And then push down into the right hand to help you roll onto your left side. And then all the way onto your back. All the way onto your back with your head resting on your blanket, probably mid-mat. And notice any differences that you might be experiencing now between the right and the left side of you. Maybe one side feels bigger, more awake, more apparent. And the blanket, which was to your left, now needs to be to your right. So that extra blanket that you used for your knee, that needs to be over on the right now. And then you'll roll over onto your right side, setting up as you did before. So I like to kind of start with my knees pointing to the right, and then once I'm in position, then I slide my feet back into that more hip extension position. Your right arm is straight out in front of you right now, with left palm resting in right hand. Left unclosed hand resting in right palm. There we go. And then go ahead and bring those knees to point toward the front of the room, your feet back behind you. And when you're ready, your head follows, your chest follows your left hand as it rises up. Make sure your head isn't hanging down, by the way. It's not too elevated. Yeah. And then close. And make this about the rotation of your spine. And again, I'm going to call attention to your right side body, so the lower side body. Notice that right side body and its role in this movement. It's probably not just passively shifting forward and back, right? You might be noticing that the right side is almost going to grip the floor to provide the ground reaction forces that you need to provide that torque, right? To open up. almost like a set of tires gaining traction suddenly and spinning off. Full speed. Just one more, please. Yeah, okay. And then the next time your left hand resting in your right hand, stay. Plant the left palm so that you have a little bit of anchoring. And then send your left knee out onto that blanket, which is in front of you. Slide the knee out as far as you can as you roll onto your belly with your right arm trapped under you, and extend your right leg long on your mat toward the front. Come as far over onto your belly as you can, so that now you're not resting on your cheek probably, but on your forehead. Yeah, and then just let your left arm rest in a position that feels like it's doing what you need it to do. Is it providing a little bit more weight on that left side, or are you using it to slightly reduce the amount of stretch that you're going to experience in the right shoulder? It's up to you. It's up to you. But use that left arm wisely. That's an asset. Yeah. Left knee is slid out just as far as it can. And then if you'd like a little bit more, you could bring your right leg out wider, turn your toes out. That's going to be the most intense version. For this modified half frog. Is this right shoulder tender? It is. This could provide, right, this kind of a reduction in sensation. But I also wonder if the position here is creating like a little bit of tension almost. Like what if it were just here? Does that feel okay? It's a little softer. Okay, okay, I like this better. Yes, good. And for this last minute here in your half frog variation, come back to those parts of you where you have some baggage. You have some ideas. And these are often the parts of us where we've had pain, or maybe we currently have pain. Sometimes they're the places we don't like very much about ourselves. And observe not only the tissues themselves, but also your thoughts and feelings about that place. Just observe, not there to interfere. And just one more breath here. Okay, push down into that left hand again to help you roll back onto your side and then back onto your back. In the center of your mat, head resting on the blanket. And just rest. I've got nothing for you to do here, just rest. Let's set up again on the left side. So if you'd like to start with your knees pointed to the right, to the left, you're welcome to do so, or you're ready to bring your knees to point forward, it's all good. Left arm is reaching out in front of you, right hand is resting in left hand. And when you are ready, now would be the time to point your knees forward, your feet are behind you now. You may not be fully extended in your hips. There might be still a pike in your hips. That's okay. All right, so come back to the last progression that you did. So you're rotating open, your eyes and your heart follow your hand, rotating open with that loose, relaxed right wrist. And then you're just gently closing. Notice this time your right side body. So you noticed your right side body before when it was on the floor. Notice it here. It's not that the left side body isn't playing an important role. I just want to give you another perspective. Yeah, nice relaxed wrist. That rotation, oh, that's a good rotation, everyone. Good job. And the next time your right arm has come up and you're looking at your hand toward the ceiling, allow your right arm to open a little more to the right, but turn your face to the left. Okay, yes. And then bring your arm back up, your face back up to the start. Let them join in the middle. And then your arm goes left, face goes right. And then let them return to the center together, just a brief touch between the eyes and the hand. And then eyes, head left, arm right. Again, return to center. Acknowledge, and then turn right with your face, arm, reach left. I'm going to have you practice this a few more times. So I've been mentioning the arm. I'd like for you now to see how little could it be about the shoulder and how much could it be about the torso rotating. Right? So the torso can rotate to the left as the face turns to the right, and the torso, right? So we have this kind of opposite movement of the face. Yes, face is turning away from the arm each time. So you take a brief moment in the center where both of them can just check in. Like, oh, there you are. I see. Oh, yeah. So when the face turns left, let the heart open. Yeah. And when the heart is closing, turn the face to the right. Let's do a couple more. Yeah, and the next time you have met the eyes and the hand in the center again, you're acknowledging this is center for me right now. Once again, your eyes follow your hand as your arm opens all the way to the right, as far as it will go. Maybe it'll land on the ground. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you to leave the arm as relaxed and limp as possible as you de-rotate your spine and return your heart looking to the left, right hand in left hand. See if you can use your arm, your shoulder very little. Yes. And then pay attention again to the right side. So as you open, notice what's happening in your right side body. And then here's my favorite way to do this. I absolutely love this. Drive your right hip forward to return yourself to the start. Drive the hip forward. And then sometimes it works for me too, not only driving the right hip forward, but driving my right knee also toward the front of the room at the same time. So the right hip is moving to the left. The right knee is moving toward the front. Try it. See what you think. And you might find also that your right knee picks up off of your left knee when you open all the way, right? Does your right knee want to lift up? Mine does. Yeah, that's it, Bill. That's it.
It definitely feels different.
Yeah, does it? And then come back to using the side body, which is on the floor, almost like you're going to gain some traction with your side body tires on that asphalt, and you're going to peel out. Yeah, using, that's it, Meekant. That's it, that's it, that's it. Do just a couple more. It's using some extensional capacity, right? That's why you get a cramp in your hamstrings. It's using some stuff. Yeah. Great. Let's just do one more. I love this part of the lesson. It's my favorite, so I might have stayed a little long because I was enjoying watching you do so much. I love this part. I think it feels so cool. So the next time you're on your side again, your right hand is resting, and your left hand, you stay. And then plant your right palm on the bare floor again to help yourself up. This time, walk your hands toward the front, or maybe they are behind you, to turn your body forward. Bring the sole of the right foot to the sole of the left foot, so you're seated facing forward in the butterfly pose. If you need to sit on a blanket for butterfly to be accessible to you, you're welcome to have a blanket. I also asked you to have props available. When I did this lesson, I just did it on Tuesday again with these poses. I didn't like the props. I just wanted to fold into my butterfly and just kind of hang there. But if this pose is very, very intense for you, the props are going to be your best friend. So fold forward any amount, with or without support. And notice if there's a different experience on the right versus the left, or if it's exactly the same. Let's just take one more breath in the butterfly. And press the palms down to help you rise up to vertical. So I'll have you turn to the right so you can lay on your right side now. Lay on your right side and set up again like you have before. Yeah. That right arm stretched out in front of you, left hand and right hand, and when you're ready, point your knees to the front. Feet behind you. Something between the knees is still totally an option. Eyes, heart, chin, follow left hand as you rotate open. Just up to vertical or slightly verticaler, and then back to the start. Let's do that one more time, just practicing what we've done before. Maybe notice the side bodies. Yeah, that's a good rotation, Bill. That was really good. This time the arm comes up, the eyes are still with the hand. Eyes are still with the hand. Good. And then allow that heart and left arm to open more to the left, but turn your face to the right. And then close your heart, reaching your hand to the right, and turn your face to the left. Okay, yes, keep doing that. And make it So it's less like an opening door now and more like those revolving doors. Face and arm, face and chest now opposite. And you're not going to bring the arm all the way to the left, nor are you going to bring it all the way to the right. It's going to hang out probably in that middle third, just in that middle third. No way are you going to be able to bring that hand all the way down with your face turning left. Okay? Yeah. And each time you return to center, just have that acknowledgement. This is center. Eyes and arm are in the middle. Acknowledge and then continue on your way. Oh, and not less about the arm and more about the spine, right? Yeah. One more only. And then the next time your left arm and your eyes are both up again, you're going to stay. This time your eyes follow your left arm as the arm opens all the way up. The left knee can definitely pick up off of the right knee. Good. Now this arm is totally relaxed. Maybe you're going to start by trying to grab the floor with your right side body to rotate your spine back to, well, derotated, back onto your side, right? To unrotate your spine is what I should have said. Maybe you're going to use that right side body, like tires grabbing the asphalt. Or maybe you'll drive your hip forward, right? There's a gazillion different options. Yeah, and human movement is really at its best when we have a gazillion different options for each and every movement. Human movement suffers when we adhere to a, quote, right way. There is no right way. Your body doesn't understand the cultural implications of how it's supposed to look. So try a few other strategies. Maybe it's going to be all about the arm once, right? Maybe it's going to be all about the knee driving forward. There's no wrong way to do it, although there may be some ways you're like, I did not like that. It's still not wrong. Yeah, Karen, it's so good. Just one more. And the next time your left hand is resting in your right hand, you're just going to stay. Beautiful. Nice, Rachel. Really good. And press the left palm into the floor to help you rise up to face forward with the soles of your feet together. So seated, soles of the feet together, maybe a blanket under your butt, knees opened up wide. And once again, I'm going to have you fold into your butterfly with or without support. Sometimes the support helps you to find ease, right? The support isn't there always to keep you from going too far, although I like support for that reason, because I tend to go too far. But sometimes you're just really tight and you need something to kind of give you that reason to surrender. So feel free to use support if you need it. And then just notice the difference between the right and the left, if any. And return again to the places that you identified earlier as having a little extra baggage. Maybe there are fears, concerns. Maybe your feelings are stronger than that. Maybe you're mad at it. Can you just observe, though? Don't interfere. Just 2 more breaths. And the butterfly. And then you press down into the floor, rise up to your seat, maybe eyes closed, just perch your head lightly right up at the top of your spine. And then one last time, I'll have you return to your back. So maybe you want to get there via your side, or maybe you just want to roll on back. It's up to you. If your blanket is still very thick, now it's time for it to be thinner because you're not going to be on your side again. And if you want to use that extra blanket for warmth, you can. We're not quite there, but keep it close. And when you're ready, hug your knees into your chest. Just gently, just hold knees to chest. And let your tail peel up away from the floor a little bit. So your knees come up maybe a little more, or you pull them in a little bit more so your tail rises away from the floor and your lumbar is kind of smooshed down. And for some of you, you would feel better if you were in the happy baby here. And for some of you, happy baby never sounds like a good idea. So if happy baby isn't a happy place for you, just stay as you are, maybe with the knees a little wider. But I think it's easier to hold that position with my tail lifted if I'm holding my feet versus my knees. So it's up to you. And just breathe along your 2 side bodies, recognizing, acknowledging that they probably do not feel the same here, but that's okay. Breathe into that part of your back which is smooshed into the floor. Breathe into the part of your back that is peeling away from the floor. And just take one more breath, please. And then release. Nice and easy. Release, bringing your feet back to the floor. And if you'd like, extend your legs out long. Maybe you want to use your bolster under your thighs. This practice, oddly for me, I don't often get like tweaky in my back. But my back sometimes in this one does feel a little tight. So if you're like, it's a little tight, it's okay, no big deal, but maybe the bolster under the thighs is going to be more comfortable for you for your Shavasana. And let your arms just open out to the sides. Palms could be faced up. I like to have my hands just a little bit facing forward. Yeah. Just gently turn your head side to side. Just nice, easy turn side to side. Let's see if you can divide your attention between turning your head side to side and the rest of your body. Allowing your benevolent attention to just roam around. And the next time your head returns to what feels like center or is the most comfortable place to rest, just leave it there. If it's easier for you to be in Shavasana with the task, you could continue just attending to the body experience, or maybe the mind just falls back for your Shavasana. It's time to deepen the breath again. Time to restore movement to the body. Find your way onto the side of your choice. And then roll into your hands and rise up to your seat. Press your palms together in front of your heart. Namaste.